This edition of Mac Voices could have been sponsored by you. Mac Voices is always looking for sponsors who appreciate our high-signal, low-noise approach to tech topics with an Apple focus. Our sponsorship packages feature inclusion in all of the audio and video versions of Mac Voices at all of their distribution points, a web presence, inclusion in the Mac Voices Dispatch, our weekly newsletter, and more. Get the details by contacting me at chuck@macvoices.com or contact Backbeat Media at backbeatmedia.com. And by MacVoices Magazine, our free Flipboard magazine that brings you some of the best Mac, iPhone, and iPad productivity tips on the web. High in signal, low in noise, just like Mac Voices, MacVoices Magazine includes information on how you can get more out of your Apple technology. Subscribe at macvoices.com/magazine or search for Mac Voices Magazine on Flipboard. Welcome back to Mac Voices. This is the Talk of the Apple community, and I'm Chuck Joyner. Folks, we have Diane Hamilton back with us again. She is of binary formations. You can tell because it says so on her t-shirt. She's going to show us something new. And it's Diane, it seems like that's all you do is come here and show us new stuff, which is great.
That's right. We're busy.
That's
good.
That's good. That's good. This new app is called My Reasons.
Yes.
Is that correct? Okay.
That is correct.
And what does My Reasons do for us?
My Reasons, it's a habit builder. And it's all about focusing on the motivation of why you want to create good habits, get rid of bad habits. And it has the same features you would see in a habit tracker. But the main focus is for you to use your pictures and your words to keep you focused and motivated. So the app allows you to enter your reasons for making this habit or breaking this habit.
Now, this is a category of software I'm not familiar with. Is this one that has a lot of entries in it, or is this something a little bit unique that you have taken maybe some, I hesitate to say self-help books or whatever, but that category of literature and implemented an app for?
You know, there are lots and lots of habit tracker apps out there. And we've used a few of them and saw where there was room for improvement, and it wasn't helping us to stick with what we wanted to do. So we took that and really turned and focused on the motivation part of it. So you track your progress just like you would with any other app like it. And yes, there's tons of them. But then really it gives you the opportunity to stay focused and really remember why you're doing what you're doing.
Well, this doesn't apply to me because I have no bad habits. Yeah.
None of us do.
Yeah.
None of us do. It's just all about creating good habits, right?
Right. Yeah. It's all those other people that have the bad habits. This is intriguing because I'm not familiar with this kind of approach to things from an app standpoint.
Right.
What were some of the things that you found lacking or wanting in some of the other entries hopefully without calling their names?
Oh, no, of course not. Again, we wouldn't create an app just to do something better. We want to do something different. And the thing that we felt was missing was the stick. Sure, I can track something, I can track what I'm doing, but that doesn't really motivate me to keep doing it. So really, that's the biggest piece that's different. That's the biggest piece we felt was lacking in the products that were out there. And it really started with Kevin again. He just like a lot of our apps do, he was looking for something to help him and walk every day, exercise every day, and just wasn't staying on track more than a few days using some of the other apps. So now we've made it very personal to help you stay on track, to help you stay motivated.
Okay. Interesting.
And we'll see. You'll see when we if we can show you some of it today, we'll be able to show you that.
Yeah, and this may become evident after the demo, but I'm going to ask it now anyway.
Sure.
Do you see this as just not just another app, but an app that qualifies for the quantified lifestyle discussion, or is this something a little off to the side of that?
No, definitely. definitely. It's a productivity app. We have it in the productivity section, but it is about lifestyle. It's about bettering your lifestyle, or sticking to a lifestyle that you're on a path with, that you want to stay on that path. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I think so. And I think maybe the best thing to do here is let's take a look at it and talk our way through it. And then it'll become a little more obvious to me and to the viewers and listeners.
Yeah. And definitely it's all about self-help, being the best we can be.
We all need more of that. I was about to make a political comment. No, I'm not going to.
Don't go there.
Sorry.
We already decided.
Yes, yeah.
There's too many chances.
It just seems to be so uppermost in our minds at the moment.
It is, isn't it? That's why we're staying busy.
Yeah. I'm glad it's a productive busy, because then we get to talk more often.
That's right.
So let's take a look at this and just see what my habits can do for us.
Sure. My reasons.
Sorry. I was stuck on habits. My reasons.
That's all right. All right. So we're going to take a look at my reasons. We're going to start on the Mac, because it does run on all the platforms, all the Apple platforms, the Mac, iPhone, iPad Pro, Apple TV, and Apple Watch. So let's go to the Mac. I find I use it on the Mac the most because I spend most of my time on the Mac. And if you notice, I'm up here in the menu, the top menu bar. It is a top menu app, so you can get to it very quickly. And I've gotten a few habits in here that I want to work on. I just have a few examples of what's important to me. And so one of my habits, you see the habit list right here. This is pretty typical, your habit trackers are going to have a habit list. And this is where on a daily basis, you can come in and check off your habits as to whether or not you've completed them, you've done what you wanted to do, or didn't do what you didn't want to do. Those types of things. And you can see your habits that are scheduled will be at the top. You can see some blue right here says they're scheduled or not done. And my habit that I want to get better at is to study more often. That is not scheduled for today, thank goodness. So I don't have to study tonight, but I haven't been too good on it because down here at the bottom of each habit that you're working on, you're going to see your streak. So red meaning you weren't successful on that day. Each one of these represents the day, previous days. And then your streak over here, I'm on a bad streak right now. I have 2 days of not studying when I should have. Right here, I'm on a positive streak. And that's really motivating to see. I can come in here and say, well, I did it for 2 days. I don't want to break that streak. So I'm going to do it again today. I haven't done that yet. But as soon as we get off this call, I am definitely going to go for my walk when it's not 100 degrees out here. And this is where you create your habits, edit your habits, all that, the practical stuff with tracking habits. But the important thing and the motivating thing for us and for our customers, we've gotten really good feedback, is this area right here. These are photos that you add that really represent the reasons for why you want to do something or why you don't want to do something. Why do I want to make this habit? Why do I want to break this habit? What is my motivation behind each one of those? For instance, eating healthy. Sometimes that's not easy, and sometimes I just want to order a big pizza and eat all of it. But when I see a picture of my son or my husband, that's really what's motivating me. I want to be here for my family. I want to be in good shape. I want to have more energy. When I come in here, I see these things, and that really helps me stay focused and motivated. I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to just ignore this list and act like it's not here, because these things right here are my reasons for doing what I'm doing. Does that make sense? Does that help clarify what we're doing here?
Yeah, I think it does. And it seems and in hindsight, just from a few minutes ago, it seems rather obvious as to what you were talking about, but I wasn't clear on what not the objectives, but I guess how you were
right.
doing it. So this is, I hesitate to say it's like a Gantt chart because that implies that there's an end to it, like a project. But
Right.
this is ongoing.
This is ongoing.
Okay, and the pictures you load in yourself as part of to determine what motivates you.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really easy, and you can have one habit. You can have 100 habits. How many you want to work on? You can use photos and words. You don't have to, but that's really the motivating part. And for instance, I can go in here and edit, and I can add reasons here. A very simple interface. We didn't want to create anything complicated. You can add your photos, and if you add photos, you can drag and drop from your desktop. So I could come, let's see, I've got some photos here. Oh, I don't want to go here. I can drag and drop from my desktop or, from Finder. Photos that are meaningful, or I can go to the photos application, and I'll be able to select any photos from here. Let's see, we'll just add that one right there. And you can schedule it. You can make it active or inactive. I'm going on vacation in another week or so, a couple weeks actually, for a few days. I'm gonna mark some of these habits not active because I don't want to be dinged for not doing them on vacation. That's what a vacation is all about, right? Taking a break sometimes, or you can schedule it for certain days of the week. For instance, I don't really want to have to do this, or I don't need to do this habit every day or break this habit every single day. I can have a different schedule daily, or even hours during the week. Even I can set hours during the day that I really want to focus on this particular habit, or not. Right? So there might be, for instance, a habit, snacking at midnight, in the evenings. Maybe I want to stop snacking at midnight. I can come in and maybe I'm only worried about that from 9 p.m. Till midnight. So a little bit of flexibility in there on the scheduling of those. And then you can also set reminders at a specific time to remind you to go ahead and work on this. If my walk isn't done by 6 p.m., I can set a reminder, and that will send a reminder to Notification Center, where I can either check off that habit from there or enter the app and check it off. So, integration with all the system stuff that can make it even more beneficial. So let me go in here. So, pretty straightforward on setting things up, really easy, quick and easy. And, motivational right here, seeing your reasons for doing what it is you want to do. And then you can also check your progress on a monthly basis as well, monthly and yearly, depending on what you want to see, so that you can see past detail of how you're doing. Let me go back there.
I'm intrigued by just how easy this is. I keep wanting to make a comment about it being, it's like a task manager, but it's not like a task manager. It's like a to-do list, but it's not like a to-do list.
Right.
It's somewhere a molding together of all of those for personal goals, personal habits.
Yes, personal goals. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Very interesting. Very interesting.
And, I think there's a lot of flexibility in it without adding a lot of complexity to it, which is what we like. You come in here and you can click off your habits in here if you want to. If you forget to do so, you can go back to a previous day and get your credit for it, right? You can see your circle of progress here for the month. I've got 10 more to go. I'm 66% on top of it. So you can really get a good picture of where you're at with all your habits or with a single habit. So flexible, a lot of information to give you and a lot of motivation.
So you have it implemented as a menu bar app, and
Yes.
I'm not sure, is that the only or the primary way to access it, or is there an app setting somewhere that is, or is this it?
This is it. This is
Okay.
it. The menu. Yeah, this is it. Really doesn't need another app. You want to get it to it quick. You want to be able to check off things quickly. You want to be able, if you're feeling a little, you need a little motivation, you simply just, click right here and you've got it.
So was that the whole idea, that you want to put it there, have it easily accessible?
Yes.
You don't have to think about it, I guess.
Yeah. You don't want to make it too hard.
Okay.
Because guess what? You're not going to open it if it's too hard.
Right.
And then you lose the motivation, right? So we do that. And you get, there's different options. You can come in and set your window size to large, small, whatever works for you. And there's some other things too that are unique to the Mac version, which I really like. And I use this preference. And that's, I set it as my desktop. So it's continually going through the habits that I've set and the reasons I have them. So when I'm working on my Mac, I see those. That's my picture at Google, and that keeps me motivated to study so I can have opportunities like that again. So yeah, there's, and this will flip through all your goals and stuff if you keep it on your desktop. So
that's an intriguing feature.
it is.
So it's some people might see it as nagging, but other people would see it as just keeping the goals in front of you, so you stay focused.
It's really interesting because one of the emails we've gotten so far was from somebody who was really, really pleased with the app. And he said that he would create a presentation and leave it running on his desktop to motivate him to make better habits or break bad habits. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I thought that was interesting. So it's not a novel idea, I guess, but it's one that works.
Right. Now, forgive me, you may have said this, and I may have missed it, at least in the context of how I'm thinking about it. But if you set a habit up that you want to be reminded of, then you do get active reminders that pop up in your face and say, okay, it's time for you to go and not eat the pizza or whatever.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, you can send a reminder for each individual habit when you define it in the interface, or you can set a reminder, just one reminder for everything, saying, okay, have you checked off your habits? Maybe it's 11 o'clock at night. Have you checked off your habits for today? So both options, but you don't have to. You don't have to if you don't want to.
Now, how about, well, you said these are implemented in iOS as well.
Yes.
So let's say that you set a habit that you want to walk 30 minutes a day.
Yes.
Do you have to, obviously with a Mac, you're not going to, well, I guess with a laptop you theoretically could, but likelihood is that you're not going to tote it around so it knows you're walking for 30 days.
Right.
Is there a way to automatically track that or import some of that in from the iPhone, the iPhone internals, or is it still something you need to go in and say, okay, I hit this mark?
Yeah, it's still something you need to go in and check, but you can do it from your iPhone, your Apple Watch, whatever's with you at that time, and it's all synced over iCloud. I have it on the iPhone. If you want me to bring that up, I can. But that is something that's interesting and is on our list to look at. What we like to do when we bring a new product to market is kind of put some of the basics in it, and then kind of see what kind of feedback we get, and then let our customers direct us what what we should do next, what we prioritize. And I think that definitely interfacing with that data that's available already is something, a path we'll be looking into in the near future.
Yeah, I guess I can see it both ways. It would be nice to have some of the automatic stuff, but on the other hand, it's automatic, so then it falls into the background. And if I have this objective and I want to walk 30 minutes a day, and then I go in and put it in for 30 minutes, I've achieved it, and I get that positive feedback. And if I didn't, well, then I guess when I get one of those little red things that is there saying you either didn't enter it, which is a failure, or you didn't do it, which is a bigger failure.
Right.
So,
Right. Yeah, but it's definitely something to explore. And if you look now, I've got the iPhone version up to take a look at. But the interface is really similar, but it's different in that it's going to take advantage and do things, the way an iPhone should be. We've got our settings down here, but if we go through the app, we can. I'm acting like that's it. There we go. So it looks very similar. Same information that you have.
Right.
Getting to the habits, you can edit a habit, delete a habit. You can add a habit just like you can on the Mac right here. Let's see. Don't snack. We'll just add one real quick. So, then I could go through and add, the photos work the same way. You can either go to your camera roll or take a picture. So yeah, I mean, really, really straightforward. That gives you a lot of information.
Any thoughts, any opinions? You've obviously been using this on the difference between setting positive goals of do this as opposed to negative goals of don't do this.
Yeah, you know what? We wanted it to make it flexible so that if you're on one side of the camp or the other, you can make that decision. I personally like positive habits. Let me focus on the positive things. But, there's some, on my personal phone, I have a couple that are negative too. I want to stop doing. So yeah, it's totally up to you, whatever you prefer.
Yeah, I wasn't asking you to share the negatives. I was more interested though in just the thinking behind it, because I can see for some of the examples you've shared, I can see how the positive ones would be a little bit easier to set, but the negative ones might be harder to not quantify, but I guess pin down. Like if you wanted to stop smoking, that's pretty much a 24/7, 365 kind of thing. Right. And so you need to have that up in your face all the time.
Right. And maybe you take a picture of that warning sign on the pack of cigarettes, and that becomes your motivation, right? Yeah. Okay. These are bad for your health, or, can cause, I don't even know what it says anymore because, I haven't looked, but there are things like that. You don't have to stick to just pictures of family or friends or other things for a negative, like lose weight, exercise, lose weight. Maybe there's a picture of yourself where you weren't so happy with how much you weighed at that time. So that's motivational. Or maybe you want to show a picture of when you were really, where you felt good and healthy, and put that picture in there, and that can be motivational. So, you can go either way. Show me why I'm doing this because of the bad things it does to me, or show me, how it could be if I didn't do this. So either way.
Interesting. I go back to the quantified lifestyle thing, and now that I understand it a little better, it definitely fits in there. It's just not quite as quantified, with the exception maybe of the tracking of the percentage that you achieve.
Right.
But it is another way to kind of gain control of your life or take control of your life.
Yes.
See the progress you've made and see the places where you need to improve.
Yes. Yes. And see, going back to June, 85%, I think that's pretty good. Right.
Yeah. And I like the flexibility too, because you aren't setting yourself up, to use your pizza example, maybe Friday night is pizza night and that's okay, but you don't want to degenerate into having pizza every other night or every day for lunch.
Right.
So you can set it to say, okay, no pizza warnings on Friday night, but pizza warnings every other day of the week.
Right.
And
right.
so that gives you that ability to build in the flexibility or the forgiveness, if you will.
Yeah. So you don't get dinged for something. I think that, I don't know about anybody else, but when I see something that I have to do 100%, it's kind of, you think, oh my gosh, can I do that? What do they say? If, you're giving up sweets, have one cookie a day or something. So that's your one cookie by, allowing pizza on Friday nights.
Yeah. Very, very, very nice. Very nicely done. And it's got that kind of binary formations look to it, that it's clean and it's simple and it's not real junky, and they're not a ridiculous amount of controls to control a lot of things that you're probably never going to need to control. Right.
We try really hard not to add any settings or controls that aren't really needed. And the ones that we do add, we want to make sure if you don't need them, you don't have to go through them, right? Let's default things so you can open it up and get started right away. Yeah,
that's very nice. I can't help but go back to something I said just a minute ago, that you're creating a little suite of apps here that have a similar look and feel, but they also sort of have a similar theme, that they're not trying to climb Mount Everest, but they might help me get to the top of the hill outside of my house. And I really like that. I think it's nice to not have those grand aspirations for apps, but just build something that is really potentially useful to someone on an everyday basis.
Yeah, definitely. And that is our goal. We have home inventory, and that's a really big product. It takes a lot of our resources to support and to update and keep up to date with all the new platforms that come out. But we also have these ideas for the smaller type of issues that we run into every day. And so we have ideas of how to tackle those. And being able to create little small projects like My Reasons and do it well and do it so it really helps us. And we use My Reasons daily, Kevin and I both. That's just really rewarding and really where we focus on the smaller projects. And to be honest, it gives us a little break to kind of refresh the palette, you might say, in between longer development cycles of home inventory, because they are very long. So we can, Kevin's probably got about 5 side projects going on at the same time, and we work with those, and then we take which ones that we really believe in and think, are really helpful, and we'll take those and bring them to market. So we do enjoy that, and I'm glad we get to do it.
Yeah, and it sounds like you are very customer driven too. I really like the idea that you put a certain feature set in, then you have other ideas, but instead of trying to throw the kitchen sink in, you let people help you prioritize.
Yes, absolutely. And we've done that with home inventory from day one, and it's really done us well. I think, we can get into our box and we can get in, put the blinders on and think everything's great. And I can't tell you how many times we've been surprised of what we want to do. And then we start talking to the customers, and that's not exactly what they want. So it's just, I can't even say enough how important that is to us and, to building good apps.
So let's get the specifics on this. Obviously, the iOS versions are available in the App Store. How about the Mac app? Is it available in the Mac App Store?
It is. We released the Mac for the first time last week, so we're real excited about that. It's on the Mac App Store. It's on the front page. Thank you. It was top banner feature last week. They just took it off today, but it's in the best new, or the apps and games we love features. So that's wonderful. It's $4.99 on the Mac App Store, and the iOS version is $1.99. Of course, the iOS comes with the watch, Apple Watch, and then Apple TV is free. So you can even be watching a TV show and bring up My Reasons on Apple TV and check off your habits for that day.
Now, I did not realize that, and I have to ask you. The Apple Watch makes perfect sense, but what was the motivation to have it on Apple TV? Was it just so it's once again in your face and kind of reminding you that maybe you shouldn't be watching so much Apple TV, or?
That could be one of the habits you want to break. It's to be so it's available wherever you're at. What's most convenient to our customer? Do I spend most of my time in front of the Mac? Well, maybe somebody else spends most of their time in front of the TV. Kevin uses it on his watch a lot because he's active and he's out and about, and he uses his watch every day, right? I don't have a watch, an Apple Watch. So, so it's wherever you're most comfortable with, or so you think about it, you don't have to go to your Mac or your phone. It's right there.
Right.
And you need a little motivation. Maybe you're sitting on the couch watching a movie and you're about ready to pick up the phone and order that pizza, right? Because you get the same visual animations that you get on all the other platforms. You get that on the Apple TV. And it's on this nice big TV, right?
Yeah. So for everybody that's embraced the Apple ecosystem, this is a great way to just work on those habits, good and bad, that and you won't be able to escape the reminders or the motivation part.
Right, exactly. And that's the key. That is the key.
The website where folks can go to learn more about this?
You can go to myreasonsapp.com, myreasonsapp.com, or binaryformations.com.
Excellent. You don't have like any preset goals or anything in there. It's just a blank slate, right?
Right, right. Blank slate.
Right. Then maybe that's a feature suggestion, and start with don't chase Pokemons, please.
And you'd have all kinds of examples of what might happen if you get into trouble doing that.
Exactly. It's car crashes, driving off cliffs. It's amazing.
I'm so glad my son hasn't gotten into it yet, but I am curious, so we're going to have to check it out.
I think all of us, there's something to be said for the augmented reality experience, no question about it. But I do think it's gotten a little bit overboard. But so we stayed away from politics, but we hit Pokemon. We did. That's okay. Yeah. Diane, it's great to have you back again. Thanks so much. It's always a pleasure to talk to you, and I hope you'll come back when the next great thing is here.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Folks, I'm Chuck Joyner. This is Mac Voices. Go and check it out. Maybe it's just what you needed to make some positive changes for yourself, or to get rid of some of the negative parts of your life that you're not happy with. Until the next time, thanks for watching. Visit MacVoices.com for show notes, links to subscribe, and to connect with Chuck on Twitter, Google+, Facebook, YouTube, Vimeo, SoundCloud, the Mac Voices blog, the Mac Voices Dispatch, our weekly newsletter, and on MacVoices Magazine, free on Flipboard that helps you do more with your Apple tech. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media at backbeatmedia.com, bandwidth provided by CacheFly at cachefly.com.